All right, so we have ourselves a chapter here today. It's definitely more exciting than the previous chapter for sure. And as you saw from the title, there is a huge development in this one as well. But let's just get right into it. So the title of the chapter is New Morning. And on the cover, we see the Germas encountering Caesar. Okay, so I guess the Germas did successfully escape Whole Cake Island, or at least it was implied as much on the cover of the previous chapter. And now they're encountering Caesar, and I don't think we've seen him since the end of the Whole Cake Island arc, like after Beji gave him his heart back. But it's possible that Caesar might have this makeshift alliance with the Germas because they do have something in common, or at least Judge does, because he and Caesar both worked under Vegapunk in the past. So I'm assuming that's going to be the thing that brings them together here. Zunisha left because the borders are closed. Okay, so that's a little anticlimactic, right? Seems like Zunisha had a lot left to talk about here, at least with Momonosuke. Man, I was expecting so much more from Zunisha in this arc. Like, he didn't really do anything. He kind of just came, talked to Momonosuke for a little bit, confirmed that Luffy was Joy Boy, and then dipped out. So does that mean that all the minks went with him as well? Remains to be seen at this point, but man, Zunisha has like such a huge tie to the story, especially to Joy Boy, and it looks like we're still gonna have to wait a very long time before we get any of those reveals. Hawkins revealed in a talk to Drake that he meant himself when he said one person only has 1% chance of survival. Hawkins predicted Kaido's defeat with his cards, but didn't commit another betrayal because of his pride. What is Hawkins saying here? So yeah, this is a reference to when Hawkins was talking to Drake like a while ago, and Drake was like, you didn't join this group by choice. If you're going to betray them, now's the time. And Hawkins was like, you're urging me to turn traitor? Don't make me laugh. 1%. And then Drake asked, like, what does that represent? And Hawkins said, the chances of a certain man surviving until tomorrow. So yeah, this whole time it was Hawkins himself. That's a nice little twist there. And apparently he also knew that Kaido was going to be defeated, but he decided to not say anything because of his Saiyan pride. Also, I'm pretty sure that Hawkins is going to be cool with the Straw Hats and just the Alliance overall after this point, because he is a supernova, and I've said it for a while now that all of the supernovas are more or less going to be represented strong in the final arc of the series for sure. And another reveal in these spoilers I think is going to further cement that. Hey guys, also if you like my One Piece content, please subscribe. I do the spoiler videos whenever they're available. There's actually not even going to be a break next week, which means we're getting 4 chapters in a row, which is unusual. So next week I will be doing the spoilers as well, of course. So subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. 7 days passed. Okay, so a straight up 1 week time skip here. So a lot can happen in 1 week in One Piece. I mean, a lot can happen in one day. Pretty sure like the entire arc of Dressrosa was like 24 hours or something. But 7 days, that means that quite a bit has happened. Not just in Wano necessarily. I mean, it does say we see the progress made in the land of Wano, but just, you know, in the world overall, there's like a lot going on. But as for the progress made in the land of Wano, obviously the factories are being destroyed, I'm assuming, cleaning up the water supply and all that stuff, and all the food, and everything's, you know, slowly being brought back to a normal, non-dystopian dictatorship. Pooh and Indy seem to have made up with the Alliance. So yeah, this goes back to what I was talking about with the supernovas. They're all eventually gonna kind of be friends in one way or another, or at least more friendly than hostile, aside from Blackbeard. Indy is also that numbered veiled ancient giant experiment from Punk Hazard that, you know, Kaido had. He's like boys with a Pooh now, so I guess he's going to be like his partner in crime for the rest of the series. Ashura died and Izo died in his exchange with Maha. Okay, so people actually did die in this arc. Ashura Doji and Izo is straight up dead, and Maha is that tribal mask looking individual from CP0. I guess it kind of makes sense because in the previous chapter we saw Kiku was sad, which implied that, you know, the worst had happened to Izo. Ashura also appeared to have died saving the Scabbards by sacrificing himself, tackling Kanjuro's Odin clone with those bombs attached to him, and he kind of took the brunt of that explosion. And we saw that there was a possibility that he could have died at that point, and I guess he did. I mean, it's also understandable because we did need to have some level of death in this arc. I mean, it would have been a little too fantastical for everyone to make it out of this. A few comedy and fan service scenes, including Yamato and the Straw Hats. Okay, so going back to what I said about Yamato joining the Straw Hats, she kind of just said that herself. We didn't get any confirmation from Luffy or anything, and we speculated, like, is Luffy going to be cool with that? Because she was still going on with the whole I'm Kozuki Oden shtick, and we thought, was he going to be like, no, I want Yamato to join? But I guess that's not happening, and I guess he's just cool with it because, you know, they're having a fan service scene here, which is apparently the Straw Hats all taking a bath together or something, or at least the females are. I don't know. Yamato is with the guys, Luffy, Brook, and Neko. So I guess that means in this bath scene she's with the dudes and not the girls. I don't know. Apparently it's also cringe, so got that to look forward to. Green Bull Ryokuyu is on his way to Wano. Alright, here is the huge reveal at the end of the chapter. Green Bull is finally going to be revealed here, pretty sure in the next chapter, and this is significant for many reasons. First of all, finally getting the reveal on this guy, but second of all, because it's extremely likely that he's Zoro's dad, aka Shimotsuki Sushimaru. So there's a few reasons for this, of course, but the big smoking gun, aside from anything else, is that in the anime, when we see the back of Sushimaru, on his kimono is a green bull. I mean, in the manga, it's still a bull. Obviously, it's not green, but I think the anime kind of cements this, and the anime has spoiled things in the future of the manga before, and I don't think this is a coincidence. Also, his hair, you know, if you just take that knot out of it, it's gonna be long like Ryokuyu's, and it kind of lines up with the same kind of implied color. But another thing that points to him being Sushimaru is that he seems to be boys with Fujitora, and Fujitora looks like somebody who comes from Wano, right? No one else in the series kind of dresses like that unless they come from Wano, because Wano is like the Japan of the One Piece world. And also him being boys with Sushimaru would mean that if he saw Zoro, he would probably realize that, oh hey, you're my boy's son. But conveniently, Fujitora is blind. Also earlier in this arc, I think around 1024 or something, I don't remember exactly. It's like when Zoro is about to fight King. Kawamatsu is talking to Hyogoro, and he basically says that Zoro reminds him of Sushimaru, and that Sushimaru himself is a descendant of Ryuma. So that all kind of makes sense there. Obviously, we had that big moment with Ryuma and Zoro back in Thriller Bark, and Ryuma gave Zoro Sunshoi, and he eventually returned it to Wano, which Kawamatsu brings up as well. And apparently Sushimaru is a one-eyed samurai as well, and we see a portion of his face here. So if Ryokuyu has like these scars, then it's straight up him. But just him being mentioned earlier on in this arc, I think is probably set up for him being revealed at this point. But then you're asking, like, what's going on with the whole Ryokuyu not eating thing? Because that was like the big defining trait that he had when he was introduced in 905. Fujitora asked him to eat some of the food and he was like, nah. And then it was revealed that he was like on a 3-year fast or something, and that Ryokuyu would only eat like if a pretty lady gave him food or something. The reasoning for this could be because he's a samurai, and you know, the samurais are all about we don't get hungry and we can fast and all that stuff, especially in One Piece. And if we go back to the flashback of when Yamato was imprisoned by Kaido when she was a child, Sushimaru is in that cell cave with her, and she's really hungry at that moment, and the samurais there wind up giving their food to Yamato, and Sushimaru says a samurai does not feel hunger. And then later on in that sequence, Sushimaru and his boys wind up breaking out of there and imply that they're going to fight Kaido, which I guess some of them do, but Sushimaru obviously makes it out of there somehow because he winds up becoming Ryokuyu. So I guess we're gonna find that out too, and maybe this is where he breaks his fast, because once he reunites with Yamato, maybe she gives him a meal, and that comes full circle here. And then of course the whole big thing about him revealing that he is the father of Zoro, and then we maybe get a huge exposition dump on Zoro's complete history finally. But it's not guaranteed, but I will say there's like a 90% chance that this is going to happen. But let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.